where's the toe of it? I mean, you got it right here. I mean, I just jump scared you. You know, considering how long the video is, it might as well be 2 parts worth. But that dislike straight ratio is way stronger than before.
The online gacha space is not in a great spot right now. We got content creators out here attacking others, spreading misinformation, making React Andy slop, and calling other content creators.
Damn, rat Andy slopped. Do I want to go back and reread that YouTube comment that I got, you know, a couple weeks ago?
Wait, does that mean that you won't shit on Zajev anymore because you won't hold grudges anymore? Oh no, fuck Zajev. Nah, fuck Zajev. Absolutely not. The guy's a.
Your usual gacha game discourse on the internet by the day looks more and more like Elon Musk's personal bondage dungeon known as Twitter. And no, I'm not calling it X. I would tell Elon to go f himself, but I think an even bigger idiot told him to do that already. Now that this video is off to a great start, I'm sure, here's the problem. A lot of gacha content creators out there, not all, but quite a few of them, and more of them keep popping up as time goes on, are not what I would consider to be gacha content creators, at least not good ones. And no, contrary to the popular belief, viewer count is not necessarily a metric of content quality. So, I want to say it how it is. The current actions and behavior of these gacha CCs that I mentioned earlier, and some of their viewers, are going too far and are starting to undermine the gacha community as a whole. Now, who am I to be saying this, you might ask? Some of you may already know who I am, but in case you don't, well, normally I have this thing that I like to do at the start of my videos, but this time, instead of me just saying it, let me show you. I'm Touhou, and I am the god of gacha games. Check it out.
Wonderful. I mean, good to know. Okay, so right here, you're gonna witness to like 1 minute worth of just a montage of him playing gacha games. So I'm just gonna go skip through all of this anyway. So I believe this one right here is Honkai Star Rail. One of it is, yeah, 1, there's 2, Genshin, that's 4. Yeah, he's like the god of English gacha games, that is. 5, Arc Knights, Azur Lane. Damn. Oh, well, there's Endless Zone Zero. Why did he put Blue Archive in this fucking video, though? Did he actually play fuck? I feel like, yeah, that's bait. That's crazy, though. But this is coming from someone that plays like 15 gacha games at once. What the fuck is this even point of this video, then? This is... Yeah. He's your god? Yeah, I know. He's the god that gives me the something to laugh at.
To keep this brief, because I got more important things to talk about in this video, again, I'm Touhou, and I call myself the god of gacha games. You may see some rats down in the comments below, or some bigger rats reacting to this video later, call me shit like the god of beggars.
Yeah, so he calls his haters rats. I love it how he titles his streams to make it so like, oh, we got some rats. Let's shoot them down. In Minecraft, that is.
And the god of unemployment, thanks to this bald ass. But like the pieces of trash you find out on the streets, you can just kick them aside and ignore them for now. We'll come back to them later. For those of you who aren't rats like them, but you're not exactly a fan of me calling myself the god of gacha either, you can just go ahead and think of me as a gacha connoisseur. Obviously, I'm a very big fan of gacha games. I've been playing them for 8 years now, and right now I'm currently maining and keeping up with 13. Actually, no, it's now 14. Now.
Oh, no fucking wonder he has Blue Archive in his fucking on the screen. Right, because he picked up Brown Dust 2 and Uma Musume not too long ago. Wow. You might as well make a full-time job streaming like 8 hours a day just to do that. If you're truly our boy. That's something else. I mean, I don't know, man.
Now that my chats convinced me to go pick up Brown Dust 2 to take part in their recent 2nd anniversary, and with even more to come in the future as they come out. But enough about me. I'm here to talk to you about what I think is a growing problem that we have within the gacha community online, be it on stream, YouTube, or Twitter. Basically, it's an issue of gacha game tribalism that's gotten way out of control. For those of you curious as to how this all started, from my perspective,
Tribalism.
it first began when Wuthering Waves launched in May of last year, and before I elaborate on that, let me make it clear right now that I'm not trying to blame the game itself or its developers for the situation that I'm about to talk about.
Didn't that whole shit show of whatever the fuck is going on in the gacha game environment happened ever since Genshin Impact? I mean, whatever. I mean,
Mainly because I think that something like this probably would have happened anyway, even if it weren't WUWA and if it were a different game that came out instead, assuming that it would have been of a similar quality and style. This gacha is also one of my top 3 gachas at the moment, and I want nothing but the best for it, its developers, and its players, the ones who truly enjoy the game and don't go around bashing other gachas in the process anyway. I'd like to make a future video discussing the situation in further detail, but for now, the long and short of it is that when Wuthering Waves launched and proved to be a very successful gacha game in its own right, a very vocal part of its player base began to vehemently support their game by comparing it constantly to Genshin Impact and talking about how much better WUWA was than Genshin or eventually other Hoyo games. For the record, to a certain extent, I don't disagree. I made a tier list video earlier this year in which I...
Well, he's not wrong about Blue Archive being on the very lowest tier, though. Like, the gameplay for fucking Blue Archive is, like, pretty... It's like you do, like, you can finish your dailies in, like, 5 minutes and do the rest and sweep and all that shit. Why is Azure Lane up there? It's funny he puts Azure Lane up there, but he puts, like, Blue Archive, like, way down the list. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure Azure Lane is, like... Wait, are you saying Blue Archive has, like, no gameplay, but Azure Lane technically has gameplay for him? I feel like the Azure Lane should be on the same tier as Blue Archive, though. That's so... Oh my god, that's funny. Look at this fucking guy.
Your response to me indicates you have feelings on this matter.
He's putting it further up because Big Booba. Well, Azure Lane has, like, fan service, but it's like would recommend because it's more. It's like, is he saying is he's more fan service than fucking Blue Archive? Like, that's crazy.
Ranked all the gacha games I was playing at the time based on how good they were as overall games, and I ranked WUWA considerably higher than Genshin. I've also made 2 videos over the years discussing the ways in which I would improve Genshin, so clearly I have my own fair share of critique on that game too. But several content creators like Tectone and St. Tontus saw the tribalism going on in the WUWA fandom and decided to take advantage of it.
Who the fuck is St. Tontus?
By beginning to make content catering to those players, pandering if you will. They began to make videos and other content blasting Genshin or other Hoyo games and praising WUWA or the developer's Kuro game because it was, and to a certain extent still is, the popular thing to do. Perhaps in the beginning, their content may have started out as genuine criticism of MiHoYo and their gacha games, sure, assuming that I'm not cutting them too much slack here. But over time, it's devolved into basically painting a one-sided narrative, pitching Wuthering Waves as the supposedly vastly superior gacha game versus the supposedly vastly inferior Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero, whose developers they label as, let me check my notes here, greedy, lazy, and incompetent. Let me know if I missed anything. Content creators like them have been pushing this narrative for long enough that over the past year, I've been seeing a steady increase in other CCs who are emulating their style. Streamers and YouTubers alike who have since joined in on pushing that same narrative for their own reasons. Whether it's because they want to take advantage of the WUWA player base too, by propagating the whole WUWA good, Genshin bad plotline and build their own channels the easy way, or because they are
I mean, I tried a little bit of WUWA for like a little bit, but I'm not that kind of person that's gonna pick up another fucking gacha and have it all stacked like it's homework.
Genuinely fanatical believers of the WUWA agenda. While I'm aware that several other YouTubers have already pointed out what kinds of problems this poses for the gacha scene in their own videos that they've made recently. Please go check those out too if you're interested, links down in the description. From my point of view, the problem is threefold. First, it perpetuates needless friction between gacha game communities by weaponizing tribalism online and provoking other player bases by constantly projecting a superior stance about a gacha, in this case, Wuwa. Or in layman's terms, they're fucking annoying. If a MiHoYo fan wants to talk about how they got a C3R1 skirk, chances are they're not going to be able to post that on Twitter without a Wuwa fan noticing, coming along, and screaming in their ear about how greedy MiHoYo is.
I love how you titled the video called "It's Time to Take a Stand," like it's a fucking like a JoJo, stand. And I'm like, okay, how are you gonna combat against it? It's like political war, but it's gacha game community.
And the way things are going, we're only going to see this more often. And the more that players talk shit to each other to this degree, the worse the tribalism gets. Now, I understand that there's always going to be some shit talk between players of different gachas. That's just how the internet is, and I'm not saying that, oh, people can't talk shit or shouldn't be able to talk shit about gachas or just games in general that they don't like. I'm also not suggesting that it can't go both ways. I'm sure that there are MiHoYo fans out there who can also be just as annoying and insufferable to deal with as the Wuwa writers.
Yeah, I can never imagine picking up Genshin / Wuwa or Uma Musume and shit like that.
But I think a lot of the shit talking going on in the gacha space right now has long escaped the realm of just trash talk and has mutated into full-blown propaganda, given the kind of content I'm seeing coming out of the rats like St. Tontus as of late. This leads into the second reason. Because the narrative has entered the realm of propaganda, people, both the ones propagating it and the ones who buy into it, will refuse to hold any discourse about the games they play. Part of what makes a community for a game healthy and vibrant is the discussion that those people have about various aspects of that game because they have a vested interest in seeing their game grow and develop, hopefully in a direction that they all want it to go in, but people will inevitably have, differing opinions on how their game should go about doing that. The important thing to remember, though, is that while we can get emotionally invested into our discussions about our favorite gacha games to the point where every now and then we'll get some spicy drama out of it, and who doesn't like a bit of drama, right? I mean, hey, if you don't believe me, just go ask the people who watch Tectone. We cannot forget that the reason why
I feel like you're trying. I mean, not only you're trying hard to rage bait, but you're trying hard to try to sweep your own personal situation, quote unquote, under the rug. But it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, you do you, I guess, but yeah.
we get ourselves into some shit in the first place is hopefully because we want what's best for our games that we play. But the people who buy into the propaganda
Manto said, "Oh no, you." I mean, again, I can't even tell he was begging Tectone, but if that screenshot is confirmed to be true, and if Tectone wasn't wrong on that, but I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, that is that's crazy. Oh, but Toho is like, oh, well, whatever, dude.
Propaganda. In most cases, the Kuro good, Hoyo bad propaganda, but then again, sometimes it can be the opposite too. Refuse to have that discussion in the first place because they base their views and opinions on a one-sided narrative that doesn't allow for a different stance on the matter. And by refusing to have a discussion at all, by skipping the whole discussion part and going straight into the drama, they don't care what's best for a gacha, not even their own. They care more about being right, or at least feeling like they have the correct opinion. Even worse, this sort of behavior and conduct, as I mentioned earlier, will cause players of other gacha communities to react in a similar way once they've been targeted. Again, shit talking on the internet is an infinite loop, and people will talk trash to each other until eventually one side stops. But we all know damn well that when entire communities get involved, it might never end. And the third and most concerning reason is that this is not a problem that I want us gacha players to be having right now. Because right now, from my point of view, looking forward into the future, we are in what I think is a critical transitional period in the gacha timeline, where MiHoYo is no longer the only player in the big production gacha market here in the West, but it's still only Hoyo and Kuro for now. Or in other words, we're transitioning from the period when Genshin was the sole king of the big boy gachas to a time when it'll be a whole party of big boy gachas, all duking it out and competing with each other, with games like Arknight's Enfield, Duet Night Abyss, Ananta, NTE, Silver Palace, and others we don't even know about yet right now, all coming out in the future. This is precisely the time when I feel we need to have this conversation, to act.
Man, I wish Arix was here to see me stream. I wonder what he thinks of the fucking Uma Musume discourse. I'm pretty sure he's getting tired of the shit on his feed, and I mean whatever. He's too busy to play he's too busy, which is fine. He's playing his Stellar Blade, or was it Wua? I know he was playing Blue Archive on Steam, because I remember I would log in from Steam to check like what they have in the Steam store. But as far as I know, like people are like playing Uma Musume for the sake of it, I guess.
Now to prepare for what's to come. The gacha space will only get bigger with all these new gachas coming out, big or small or anything in between. There will be tons of new players and old players alike, either picking up gachas for the first time or coming back to the ones they used to play. And I want them all to have a good time with gacha games, whichever ones they decide to play, whether it's just one game or a handful at once. As someone who enjoys gacha to the point where I willingly subject myself to 14 of them at once, I think
yeah, we don't need to hear that.
That whatever
We already know.
gacha game you decide to play is pretty cool. For the record, let me be perfectly clear. Any gacha game is worth playing. Gacha games are very fun. In my humble opinion, some of the most fun games that you can play right now, though I will stress that they are not for everyone.
Is Tua actually talking something sensible? I mean, there are sometimes, and then there are a lot of times I was just laughing.
But as long as you have a reason to play one, any reason at all that doesn't involve you playing a gacha for the sole purpose of talking shit on another one, then it's worth putting your time and effort into it, even your money too if you feel like it's worth it. Or, since I prefer a more cynical approach here, I like to think of gacha
here it goes.
games in this way. All of them are fucking trash. Gacha games are...
I mean, yeah, I'm glad to know. No shit, bro. Okay. So let me guess. There's two hyperboles in this. Got the gacha god thing is hyperbole, and then the gacha games are fucking trash is hyperbole. I don't even know it's even hyperbole anymore, but you know what? No fucking way, dude.
Simultaneously some of the worst video games that you can play right now, to the point where I almost think it's just better for you straight up to go play League of Legends or something, if only for the sole reason that whenever you talk shit, at least you're talking shit to other League players, and not being an insufferable Wua dicksucker, jacking themselves off over how good Wua's story is and calling Star Rail story trash, when in reality, both of those games' stories are absolute So if you'll excuse my harsh language for just a little bit longer, it doesn't fucking matter what gacha you decide to get yourself into, because at the end of the day, all of them are greedy gambling programs that bait you into wasting your money on pixelated anime girls and boys by taking advantage of underhanded tactics like FOMO, bigger value packages and bundles, and...
You know what?
advantage of underhanded tactics like FOMO, bigger value pack.
We need to gatekeep this gacha content creator from shit like this. He literally used Brown Dust 2 as an example for this freaking statement. You do realize the packs in Brown Dust 2 are optional, right? I mean, yeah, like, I'm pretty sure you still have the meta chase in this fucking game, but... wow. That's funny.
Packages and bundles, and paywalling characters. Again, let me repeat myself, all gachas are trash. Perhaps there are some out there that are better than others. Gee, I wonder, for example, what this dude thinks is one of the better ones. But just because you...
So what prompted Toho to talk about this? I mean, have you seen this like 6-hour video of him crashing it, like Didn't he just said like ever since the gotcha god thing, the reason why he said that is because the gotcha content creators are referred to as termites? Like it was literally a 6-hour video spurg out from him, like going after Tectone.
Give a piece of shit a coat of polish doesn't change the fact that it's still a piece of shit. So at that point, it doesn't matter which one you play, but rather the only things that do are if you enjoy your time with it and you don't feel the need to go shit on other people who happen to enjoy other gacha games. But for lots of people out there, it's a bit tough.
I mean, I don't really recall. I mean, other than me, like taking shots at Grand Blue Fantasy players, because I have my little bit of a gripe at time. I mean, there's really nothing else.
Tough for them, unfortunately, to enjoy a gacha game when some idiot with their own little cult on YouTube is screaming at them through their phone or computer screen about how bad their game is just because it goes against their agenda. For those of us who are used to this sort of behavior from the rats already, or are able to ignore them somehow.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
So as you can see, I am not going to bother restarting, but you can tell if you click on the, oh right, the ice cream part. So you can do this with the popsicle. You can do the popsicle within the mouth, back and forth. Oh, so interaction. I'm pretty sure. So Justy has always been your favorite? Look, I always thought, I was thinking of like skipping the prestige skin, and then after I got it and I was playing around with the interaction for like an hour, I was like, damn, they really fucking cooked hard on this fucking shit. And let's see, if you do the... There we go. That's how what happens when you try to undo the bottom part of the swimwear. And I believe you do the twice on the legs part. Yeah, right here. Yeah, there was this gacha game called Taiman and RPGX. It's on DMM as far as I remember, and oh, there's the ice cream part if you like to play around with it too. So ice cream on the face, ice cream on there. I mean, there's the water thing. But there's that. But yeah, so normally you can do the ice cream part and play around on that, and then play around with the poking and just here right here. Do those bikini light become transparent? Yes. I mean, little demonstration. Oh, splash water here. But yeah, if you're trying to do the thing, call this, and then do that for the top. And then if you're trying to do the bottom part, you undo the string and then, yeah, right here. There's also interactions that if you unlock the characters as well. Like I only got Elise and Therese unlocked as far as I remember. I have to unlock the other ones.